The great growling of change, technology. Well, I like the idea of that quote by Steve Jobs. Ever wonder why technology is being integrated into businesses? May it be small or to scale of a corporation, it is practical to innovate and adapt through technology. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot to introduce myself. Hey there, I am Marcus Blythe and I am an accounting tech student at St. Louis College. I can call myself computer literate, and I am currently working myself to become successful in my future profession. Okay then, for the purpose of why I created this video, I want to familiarize you with the system development life cycle. Yes, I know, you're probably ranting out, "Hey Marcus, that's kinda hard to understand technical stuff." But believe me, if you ever want your business perhaps to take another step of innovation, well, this cycle will help you sustain success. And this cycle isn't too hard to understand at all. Now, System Development Life Cycle. It is a conceptual framework describing all activities in a software development project from planning to maintenance. All this means is that this is the mainframe of your project. But why is it a cycle, you may wonder? Because success is all about sustaining it. You never stop believing, and you will never stop working until your product serves its very purpose. This process is associated with several models, each including a variety of tasks and activities. Hence, there are 5 cycles that you need to familiarize. Planning, analysis, development or design, implementation, and maintenance. Planning. This asks the question, what do we want? What do I want it to be? Or, what do my customers want? In this stage of the SDLC, you will determine the costs and resources required for implementing the analyzed requirements. This includes mainly your budget for your new software, resources, like do you need hardcore programmers or you want it to be automated by third-party plugins and other things. It also details the risks involved and provides solutions to mitigate those risks. In other words, you should determine the viability of your project and how you can implement the project with the lowest risk in mind. Next one is analysis. This is where things get a little bit complicated because you need to gather data, conduct surveys, and other essential steps that will support the success of your project. After a thorough analysis of the requirements and planning steps to reach your desired target of interest, then you move along into making an abstract framework or outline, or the so-called software requirement specification. This is a document compiled to include everything that must be developed to complete the project. Next is development or design. During this phase, the overall system architecture is designed by defining the functionality of each module as well as their interaction with third-party modules. All those image placeholders, search boxes, or shopping cart if you are planning it, this is where it gets designed. Now, be sure to send out your favorite color palette, what have you. After the beautiful moment of designing your software, it's now time for implementation. This is really the part where your assigned programmers will work and follow your design prototype and develop the actual software. This is also the place where it can be allowed to work on different operating systems like Windows, Mac, Linux, moving to mobile operating systems like Android and iOS. Now let me give you a tip. Always provide a release candidate for beta testing to make sure that your software works perfectly when you send it out. The last step is maintenance. When final version of the product is released to the market, maintenance is performed over time to change the system design according to future needs. Close monitoring is must here, and when you encounter a bug or a problem, then go back to step 1. and plan how to fix it. Note that the next cycle will be lighter and much easier to work because you don't need to build the software again just to fix a simple bug. You just need to update it. Great, that's it. But I know, where is the fun when we just talk about it? Let's take the cycle into a test run. Well, it's still imaginary, but it's better than none. Picture that I want to build a software that helps people to manage their income and expenses, budgets, an automated bookkeeping software that is. Now, the first step is planning. I must ask myself, what do I want? Well, I already know that I want a bookkeeping software, but I also want it to be compatible with mobile phones. Now, I have an enough budget to run this project. Let's say 60,000 pesos for the initial run. The risk, well, I don't see a potential risk for this kind of software because it will not store money, just records of transactions. Next step is analysis, but let's not stress ourselves here. Let's just say that our analyst gave us a thumbs up and proceed to making a prototype. This is the exciting part, design and development. I choose to use Adobe XD to design my software and to make a prototype with animations. Yes, of course, because we don't want it to be boring and static, and I want it to look all modern. And yes, I'll be the one to design it because I can. Now that the design and prototype is all set, I'll just tell my programmers that I want it to be compatible between computers and mobile phones, and I'll just give them the 60,000 perhaps and wait for them to finish my software. The final product of my project is here. Before I will release it to the public, I'll be giving them a better release first for them to try out, then gather their feedbacks and recommendations, and after that, back to step 1. That is all for this video, and I hope you have now a clear understanding on how this works. See you and good luck with your first software. Ciao!